Hi everyone, it's Nicole Spohr and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to share this really fun crafty clipboard foiled card using the Spellbinders August 2020 Glimmer of the Month called Have a Crafty Day. What I love is I'm revisiting one of my all-time favorite past die of the month. This is the August 2019 large die of the month called Ride On that creates this clipboard shaped card. Let's go ahead and create our foiled background. I have turned on my Glimmer hot foil system in the back and I am waiting for it to warm up. You can see the red light over there on the left of the screen. And that is just going to heat this up. I'm going to go ahead and trim the foil I'm going to use for my card today. I'm using some rainbow foil, of course. Perfect for this really fun background we're going to build. I'm just going to trim it in half. Because the glimmer plate we're using, I'm going to foil it twice to create a complete background. I'm also using a little purple tape to help hold that down in place so it hopefully will not shift while I'm foiling. We have our cardstock. This is some pool play, I believe, Fun Stamper's Journey. Our foil and our glimmer plate. We're waiting for it to say that it's ready. Once it's ready, that green light comes on. We can push the bottom button, the timer, and when that is a solid green, we can take our system, our platform, over to our Spellbinders Platinum machine and run it through to create this beautiful foiled effect. Now, my first one did not foil great. I did not use a shim. So I am going to foil this again, and what I like to do is I use a cardstock shim between the shim and the spacer pad. You definitely don't have to do this all the time, but I have found with lighter weight cardstock, you get much better results. Look how gorgeous this foiled. And the only difference is that cardstock spacer shim in between the shim and the spacer pad. Now that I've foiled my background, I'm actually going to die cut this to fit the front of a card base. I die cut it with the Ride On shaped die, so it makes a card base. And it's not going to cut the top. I'm just going to die cut it and then trim off the top of that panel. Then I'm going to take a white top fold card base, line up the clipboard shape here, and then run this through my die cutting machine and die cut the shaped card. It is slightly smaller than a standard A2 size card. You're going to see there on the sides and on the bottom what it's going to trim off. This is going to account for the clipboard up at the top of the card design, so it still fits in a standard envelope. And I really fiddled with this quite a bit to get the spacing the way I wanted it so that it would die cut just perfectly. And then I'm going to peel away the sides and the bottom, and we have our shaped card. This clipboard was very, very popular when it came out. I was thrilled that Spellbinders is still offering this. It was such a popular die collection, and it works fantastic, you guys, with so many other dies, foil collections. Like you can see here, it just really goes with a lot of things. And I've created my own pattern paper here. I'm going to adhere this to my card front. The foiling is so gorgeous. Now I know a lot of it is getting covered up with this panel, but I really wanted this to look like a decorative clipboard, something you might buy in the school supplies. And so that was my foiling for this background. I'm going to take that other rectangular piece and die cut some pattern paper that I can then adhere to my clipboard, but we're going to foil this as well with some of the sentiments from the Glimmer of the Month. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more of rainbow foil, but I do think I'll go ahead and assemble my clipboard, or at least I started folding it together. I die cut those pieces off camera and they're going to go up at the top of the card. I remember the first time I put this together, I thought that was so hard, and today it was so easy. We'll come back to that when we assemble the rest of the design. Let's grab that rainbow cardstock now, and let's rainbow our sentiment. So I'm going to build the sentiment, "Have a crafty birthday." I love that. I know we all have lots of crafty friends that this would make a fantastic little birthday card for. You can definitely switch this up with any of the other sentiments because there's a lot, and another add-on Glimmer set this month, which is phenomenal. I love that Spellbinders does this. Please stay tuned. Late next week, I am going to have a huge video that features a bunch of cards using the club kit dies for August, and I cannot wait to share those with you. I'm going to be using a lot of the club kits and add-ons. We're going to foil "Have a Crafty Birthday" now. I did have a bit of overfoiling, unfortunately. You run the risk. There sometimes happens. I'm just going to take this sand eraser and kind of erase away where I had the overfoiling. It wasn't too bad. So pretty. I know it's hard to tell unless you kind of flip it at an angle, but the foiling is so gorgeous with this rainbow foil. Let's assemble the clipboard up at the top, or the little clip up at the top. Double-sided adhesive on both sides of this connector. I'm only going to remove one side, place that on the back of my clip, remove the other side, and then we're just going to line that up. And I'm so sorry, I didn't realize I was out of camera. We just want to line it up so that these two pieces, the holes in the top, line themselves together. But that little connector piece gives it that dimension, which is so amazing. It looks like an actual clipboard. I think that's one of the reasons this was such a popular kit. Plus it creates a shaped card, which is always super popular. I put some adhesive then on the very back piece of this, and I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the top of my clipboard shaped card. I did take another little piece. If you want it to be a working clipboard, I think it can. I know Yana showed some amazing samples where she didn't actually attach anything. I like mine to just be secure. So I attach my paper to the background, and then I use a piece of double-sided adhesive underneath the front of the clipboard, and it's just going to be permanent. So have a crafty birthday. Now, I am going to go ahead and use the large die of the month for August 2020, the 3D Still Life Easel and Canvas. We're going to use the paint palette, paint brushes, paint tubes to decorate our card. Definitely ties in to the foiling of the background, adds some great little embellishment to the design. I've got my paint palette here that I've backed with foam adhesive, and then I'm going to fill the wells with these great little cardstock colors. I die cut it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times out of 7 different colors of Fun Stampers Journey cardstock, but I want all those little wells to have different colors in them. We're going to peel away the foam tape on the back, and I've tucked in a paintbrush. The paintbrush, I wanted the tips of my paintbrushes today to look like they had paint on them. So what I did was take the paintbrush tip die, and I die cut it from the gray cardstock I'm using for the brush itself. And then I die cut it from a color, and from the color, I took my scissors and trimmed a little piece that I could then adhere to the tip so it looks like it's been dipped in paint. I used glossy accents on the paint wells so that when that dries, it gives a great glossy finish. We've got our paint squirting out of paint tubes. I'm going to have a pink, a green, and a lavender, and then I am going to use all of my paintbrushes today, and I'm just going to add a different little paint tip to each because I think it gives them a really fun little look. So I'm hoping I did one of these on camera. I thought I did. Yes, we're going to assemble one right now. I'm going to take the brush, adhere it to the brush tip. I'm going to take the colorful piece and my scissors and just trim that up. I want it to be a little bit wonky, like it's just been dipped in paint. and then we'll adhere that to the tip of the brush. And I die cut the brush from some silver mirror cardstock. I'm going to just trim that little band that goes next to the brush tip and apply that or adhere that to that portion. And it really makes such a huge difference for these fun paint brushes. I'm going to do this for all 3. These are just great embellishments, you guys. I absolutely love, love, love the kits for August. I'm sure I say that every month, but Spellbinders is killing it with the fantastic club kits. And when you can mix and match them and extend the life of your dies and go back and use a die set from a year ago and combine it with brand new stuff, if you guys have followed me, you guys know that's my jam. I love being able to extend the life of my favorite products by reinventing them and using them with new things that I might be getting, but still can love on those products that are in my stash. We're going to just build the rest of this. I'm kind of playing around with placement. I'm liking how this is looking. I'm going to try to combine these little paint squiggles down at the bottom. If you want to see overkill of paint tubes, I will link you up to my card that I created with the dies from the large die of the month earlier here this month, where it has a rainbow of paint tubes, but it's probably one of my all-time favorite cards. I love a good rainbow, and it's just another way to use some of the dies from August. I'm using some tweezers to kind of help hold things down while the glue is drying. It's looking good. Don't forget to take some glossy accents and add it to the paintbrush tips. Because I added glossy accents to the paintbrush or the paint palette, the little paint wells, I want to add it to the tips. I did take a little sentiment strip from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to add that with double-sided adhesive just to kind of tie into the artist, crafty friend type of theme. I like it because I think it works with the birthday sentiment. It says you were created to create. And then just adding all those little finishing details here. One last thing that I opted to do, I felt like my paint tubes, I wanted that silver, the tube is silver, the band matches the paint that's coming out of it, and so I decided I wanted to add a little white Nouveau crystal drop to the little dot on my paint tubes. And so my bottle, I had the worst time with it. It squirted out, made a little mess. I'm gonna have to clean that up with my fingernail. You can use the tool-in-one or a tip of something else, a craft knife, to clean that up if you need to, but it kept clogging. I finally got it unclogged, but that was a struggle. And just add those little white Nouveau crystal drops, and I think it really adds a lot to the finished card design. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this crafty clipboard foiled card featuring the Spellbinders Glimmer of the Month for August 2020 called Have a Crafty Day. The supplies I used to create my card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Spellbinders club kits that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a card making video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.